Welcome to the live stream of the 2020 Donald Trump State of the Union address. We are in for quite a show today, folks. Quite a show. We have live video at the White House of Donald Trump's limousine, ready to at some point make its way the very short distance over to the House chamber on Capitol Hill. We expect the speech to start somewhere around 9:07 p.m. Eastern time, officially scheduled for 9 p.m. There will be a pomp, there will be circumstance, there will be all sorts of different things. And what incredible timing for this State of the Union address. We have Donald Trump's impending as the door is now opened and Donald Trump prepares to exit to his limo. We have the impending acquittal of Donald Trump in a Senate impeachment trial. Will that be a topic tonight? We have the Iowa caucus results after a disastrous embarrassment by the Iowa Democratic Party. Still, we don't even have 2/3 of the results, ladies and gentlemen. I will update you on the results that we do have. It is going to be an incredible evening. And it to me is one of the most, how do I even describe it? This is one of the most, it's not a consequential State of the Union. It's just one riddled in scandal and controversy on an election year as the Democratic primary is getting going. So it is going to truly be a very interesting thing to see. Will Trump talk about Iowa? Will Trump talk about will he talk about mini Mike Bloomberg? Will he talk about all of these different things? I have no idea. These speeches typically run anywhere from as little as 75 minutes to as many as 100 minutes in duration. And it is going to be very interesting to see what does and does not make it into the speech. So up until the time that they start, welcome. I will take questions from you via Super Chat. If you are watching on YouTube, I already see Super Chats coming in. If you're watching on Twitch, I will take messages via Twitch subscriptions, Twitch Prime, and other subscriptions. Let's see what's on people's minds. We are once again running the coupon code 36 today. Remember that Sunday was my birthday. We ran a discount. 36 today saves 60%. It is still available and you can use it at joinpacman.com. Our goal is 50 members. Yesterday during the caucus stream, I think we had like 80. So I hope that we can do 50. It would be absolutely fantastic as we see a shot here of the U.S. Capitol on the left, the White House on the right. Very quickly, let's take a look at the latest caucus results that we have. This is still with just 62% reporting. Pete Buttigieg leading in state delegate equivalents over Bernie Sanders. 10 and 10 pledged delegates, an effective tie. Elizabeth Warren getting 4. As of right now, 0 pledged delegates for everybody else. And we will talk about the implications of these numbers tomorrow. And of course, this could reverse still. We could end up seeing something very different develop. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to look at here. I guess not. I guess for the Yang and Tulsi people, Andrew Yang at least got a delegate. Tulsi Gabbard just zeros all across, only 232 votes at all. So if you are in the Tulsi crowd and still believe that Tulsi is going to be the nominee, I certainly want to hear from you because I simply don't see it. I simply don't see it. All right, let's get to Super Chats as they are starting to come in. First Super Chat is from Hound Dog. There will be big brain glitches and tweaking out. Yes, so please find, let me see. First of all, I just had this, Trump was highly triggered by a fat pick ad that Mike Bloomberg ran of him. And he started tweeting things about Mike Bloomberg. It actually is hilarious when Trump does some of this stuff. Trump tweeting, I laughed out loud when I saw this. Mini Mike is now negotiating both to get on the Democrat primary debate stage and to have the right to stand on boxes or a lift during the debate. I like how do you negotiate standing on a box? It's like either they let you stand on a box or they don't. This is sometimes done, but not really fair. I love that. But what I actually wanted to point your attention to is play SOTU 2020 bingo with me, okay? We have, if you look at there's the Tesla stock. If you look at my tweets from earlier today, we put together a special bingo card for tonight's debate. And which of these things will Donald mention? Of course, free square in the middle. Will Trump mention socialism? Will Trump claim to be building the wall? Perfect phone call, impeachment hoax, witch hunt. Slurring his speech is going to be a big one we're looking for, referencing Crazy Bernie or Mini Mike, talking about China, which is China. That's how he says it. Sniffing constantly. Toilets. We know he's obsessed with toilets and the flushing of toilets. Read the transcript, which he didn't release. Pointing to someone in the crowd and referring to them as my African American. Shifty Schiff, the do-nothing Democrat Party. Black unemployment. Having the cleanest air and water. Greta, referencing Greta Thunberg. Obama. Hillary, Pocahontas, windmill cancer, exonerated, and corruption. Okay, so please retweet my bingo card and follow along, because it is going to be a real party, folks. It's going to be a real party today. All right, more super chats coming in. Dutch Morgan says, I remember watching your videos in high school around 2015. It was very unpopular to be liberal. You'd be surprised how conservative Chicago suburbs actually are. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Appreciate the longtime support. TJ says, so rude to Tulsi by calling her Tulsi. I don't get it. I'm not sure I understand. And Per Tiren checking in from Sweden, as he often does, with the message, hi, friends. Appreciate seeing you, Per. Always great to see Per in the chat. If you are just joining us, the State of the Union address expected to start near the top of the hour. We will see Donald Trump eventually make his way into his limo over to Capitol Hill. He will come in, will be announced by the Sergeant at Arms. There will be handshaking. I am genuinely curious whether this time around, because of the political environment, because this guy is under impeachment, are the same Democrats who are impeaching this guy going to be wanting to shake his hand and take pictures? I would actually respect them more if they avoided the opportunity for that and just ignored the guy. I would genuinely like to see that. Excuse me. Welcome to Crow Rebar, who has subscribed with a YouTube subscription. Kicking off the joinpacman.com memberships is Cassie Cunningham. Cassie, you are new member number 1 of the evening. We do have a coupon code, 36 today. Saves you 60% because it was my 36th birthday on Sunday. We created this coupon code. 80 people used it during yesterday's stream. By all means, feel free to do it. I will thank you profusely. I will see you forever as a really great person. And it's available at joinpacman.com. Let me say thank you to Rebel Without a Cause for subscribing with Twitch Prime, and Mystic Valley for subscribing with Twitch Prime. William Gilbert is asking, will I be streaming the whole speech and commenting? Love the show. Hope you're doing well. Yes, I will. Unless people want me to end the stream, in which case I will do it. Aviator X23 sends a super chat. Make It Simple says, I guess some people think you're saying Tulsi. Tulsi. Catalot says, happy birthday, David. Wishing you much success. Hopefully Bernie the candidate will be another gift. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. If you are just joining us, we did briefly look at the latest Iowa caucus results. As you can see here, still with 62% of precincts reporting Pete Buttigieg leading in total state delegate equivalents. We will likely not have final numbers until tomorrow. As you can see down here, 62% reporting. And there are all sorts of conspiracy theories about, they picked the 62% that are good for Trump. That are good for Buttigieg, and to get him another round of headlines and so on and so forth. Listen, I don't attribute to malice what we can easily attribute to incompetence. And there is a lot of incompetence to go around in the Democratic Party. So until I have evidence otherwise, that's where I'm leaving it. Let's see if we have audio coming in. We do. Okay, so we'll just run the audio. And hopefully the mix will be okay so I can talk over it and people don't go crazy. See a lot of our friends coming in. Senator Tim Scott just came in. I mean, not my friends. Wouldn't be caught dead with me, but, people we know. Who else do we see here? That might have been Marco Rubio who walked by. There's Kamala Harris. We see, there's Rand Paul walking by. Maybe Susan Collins walked by at some point. Andrew Scott says via Super Chat, the top Boot Edge donor is the founder of the app company. Isn't that ironic? Grant Blevins. Nancy Pelosi standing at attention. Grant Blevins says, how great would it be to see Trump stumble getting into the car? There could be a lot of weird stuff going on. It looks like that's Mike Pence entering the House chamber now. Disappointing sight to see, of course. Let me say thank you and welcome to Johan Sis and Chris Russell, who are new members number 2 and 3 of the evening, starting to push the blue line across the screen. Some of you who were here yesterday know that we reached 800,000 YouTube subscribers yesterday live on stream as Donald Trump is getting into the beast and will soon be making his way over to the House chamber. Maybe we'll just turn down a little bit more. Just background, I think, is fine. We see Melania Trump, of course, very much against bullying is Melania, although her husband is one of the greatest bullies around. They are going to make their way over to the House chamber. Grant Blevins already. Okay, we read that one. Jason White sends a $2 super chat. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, I will. There's Mitch McConnell and Chuck Grassley. We are taking questions and comments via YouTube super chat and Twitch subscription messages. And I will keep answering them until they get started. President Donald Trump's limousine very slowly starting to leave the White House and will make the very short ride over to where we just saw Chuck Schumer. We see Mike Pence shaking hands with people. I've deliberately not looked into who are Trump's special guests or whatever. It'll all just be new to me. I am curious how much the Iowa caucus will be a topic of discussion. Curious how much impeachment will be a topic of discussion. Scott Phillips says, happy belated birthday. Did you hit 800,000 subscribers? We did. We actually hit it yesterday. We are actually halfway to 801. So if you're just joining us, let's keep the party going. Make sure you like and subscribe. Liking the stream is really good for us because YouTube gets tricked or accurately believes that this is a good stream to promote to people looking for impeachment coverage. So always make sure to like and then subscribe. Dillinger Sledak says, am I the only one slightly peeved when Trump claps his hands so close to the mic? And it's S.I. kept saying Sladak. Oh, Siadak. I see, yes. When I super chatted, sad. I'm sorry, that's Dillinger Siadak. Whoa, what just happened? Just got a weird, we just lost video there briefly. And we are back. Nancy Pelosi talking to Mike Pence. And they seem to be having relatively friendly conversation. Adam the D. No, sorry, I skipped one. Skipped a few. Squirrel Dude says, hot take, the Dems rigging contest against Bernie is what's happening because, I don't know, they did it in 2016. Good hot take. You should have a show. Dante Gee says, cheers, love the work, always clear and sane. Adam the D, D's should interrupt the speech one by one over the hour, but then the rules for thee, not me Republicans would cry, my decorum, and the Democrats are simply not brave enough. I don't believe Democrats are going to do that. I don't believe they will. Amo Leos, or Ilios, is a new YouTube subscriber. Ben Taylor says, good to see you, David. As always, I can't believe you can keep up with who everyone is and their relevance to the situation. So much less work for me. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi. I hope that's useful to you. We do have a group of members of Congress dressed in white. They did this last year. We see that looks like Ilhan Omar and other people I don't recognize. We see Rick Scott coming in here, senator from Florida. Who else do we see coming in? Believe this is Lee Zeldin to your right, Republican congressman and a total bomb thrower. We have, is this Cory Booker down here? I can't tell from facing away. That's definitely Nancy Pelosi, though. That's Nancy Pelosi for sure. Let me say thank you to, no, nobody else to say thank you to. I will remind you, we are still, today is the last day of the birthday special. It was my birthday on Sunday. I turned 36. We have a coupon code 36 today. That'll save you 60% off of website memberships at joinpacman.com. So far, 3 people have signed up. I would love for that to be 30 rather than 3. The goal is 50, and every time someone signs up, the blue bar moves over, it inches along like an inchworm, and I say your name, I thank you, and people just get very excited and happy when that happens. Let's see here. Tyler Sylvester says, Trump's mannerisms sometimes remind me of the late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi. I've not noticed that, but I'm not that familiar with Gaddafi's mannerisms, I admit. Make It Simple says AOC not attending. I did read that. Aviator X23, happy belated, David. Love the show. Very informative and helpful to keep up with the news of the day and get a progressive perspective. Also, go Pens. Ruben Gazer says, if you really had to, who would you rather kiss, Mike Pence or Mitch McConnell? This kiss would certify Bernie as president. If I had to kiss Pence or McConnell, I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, it doesn't really make any difference to me. There's Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner coming in. Who else is there? That's Lara Trump or one of the other Trump women. We see action happening in the House chamber. And we are expecting Donald Trump to arrive relatively soon. Let me say thanks to Atomic Monster 93 for subscribing with Twitch Prime. You are Twitch subscriber 855. We would love to get to 900 Twitch subscribers this evening. Let me also say thanks to Peter Sandor. Peter Sandor is new member number 4, and we will see number 4 pop up, and the bar moves across. Thanks, Peter. Really appreciate your support. Feel free to join Peter with that coupon code 36 today. Kratia says with a Twitch Prime subscription, kiss Pence so he has to ECT himself. Thank you, Kratia. You are subscriber 856 on Twitch. Matt Mauser says, does the DNC debacle help Bernie because he isn't associated with the establishment and this situation plays into the hands of Trump? I think it's too early to say who the Iowa situation benefits. It's not too early to say that it's really bad for Biden. It's really, really bad for Biden. JSquare83 subscribes with Twitch Prime and says, keep up the good work, David. JSquare83, you have also triggered a hype train on Twitch. Yesterday, we reached level 4 in the hype train. I say let's go for level 5 today. It would be a beautiful thing. Per Tiren says, just saw it. Congrats on 800,000 YouTube subscribers and your birthday. Yeah, this is kind of funny. I had a conference call today with my YouTube rep, and we were just going over, what did well, what didn't do so well in 2019. He congratulated me on my 800,000 subscribers, as we see Rand Paul here. And he said he read to me some of my own YouTube titles, and it was so funny hearing them like in a serious context, because when we make these YouTube titles, we're kind of joking, it's all shock, satirical, this person owned, that person destroyed. He said, one of your clips that did really well was Trump's brain malfunction spews nonsense during interview. And he says this completely seriously. And I just start laughing hysterically during our phone call. And then he said, one that didn't do so well because it's not really brand safe was Trump child rape is back. And I said, yeah, I can understand why that one did not do so well. We see video of Jared Kushner talking to, one of the, looks like the invited guests who are often in that upper mezzanine. Looks like there are some members of various armed forces there as well, often a crutch for both Republican and Democratic presidents to call out to and tell a story about. We will see if Trump is able to hold it together despite sniffing and all that. You see Donald Trump now making that left turn and getting to the front of the U.S. Capitol. 15 minutes still until the scheduled entrance of Donald Trump into the House chamber. But we will soon see Donald Trump step out of his limousine. Let me say thank you and welcome to Michael Wright. Michael Wright is new member number 5 of the evening, and Daniel Lowy is new member number 6. Michael taking advantage of the coupon code 36 today, but that is not mandatory. And Daniel opted to pay full price, which of course we always appreciate you no matter what you decide to pay for a membership. Other super chats coming in. Tommy Adams has a good question. Do we get uppers Trump or downers Trump tonight? Will we break 100 sniffs? Remember, I invite you to check out my Trump 2020 SOTU bingo card. I tweeted this morning, so scroll back at dpacman on Twitter, and I invite you to play along. You will notice that we have speech slurring there, but also, where is sniffing? Wait a second, I have sniffing. Oh, constant sniffing. So both slurring his speech and constant sniffing are squares on the bingo card. Let's listen to Nancy Pelosi here.
Session will come to order. The chair appoints as members of the committee on the.
So you know what? We don't even care about this. This is all procedural, and I want to talk to you guys. I'm not going to worry about it. Let me say thanks to Chad FM22 who subscribed with Prime. We'll pull the audio back up when the Sergeant at Arms announces the arrival of President Donald Trump. Bad Luck James sends a super chat. Love the coverage, David. Shout out Breadmain. I guess I did. Brittany Kramer is a Soy Boy level YouTube subscriber. Thank you, Brittany. Sherry Christopher is also signed up at the Soy Boy level. Hold on a second. Things scrolled past. Donna Williams sends a super chat. Adam Waddington says, God bless the United States. Yeah, I'm wondering if Trump is going to say, God bless the United States of America. Will he mention the Israeli city of Jerusalem tonight? Or the Palestinians? I want to hear all of it. Adrian Benningfield is a new YouTube member. Kimberly M is a YouTube member. I love the YouTube memberships, but just in case people are confused, the target of 50 is for website memberships at joinpacman.com, not the YouTube ones. It's for the website memberships. Just a reminder. So someone, for example, who signed up for a website membership is Marie Casney. Marie Casney is new member number 7. Patrick Smith is new member number 8. Kendricks Phillips is new member number 9. Michael Prindle is new member number 10. Taika Webster. Thanks, Taika. Taika's new member number 11. Alex Ringgold is new member number 12. Really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. The coupon code is in honor of my birthday. It was my birthday 2 days ago. I turned 36, so the code is 36 today. And that is why you save 60%. Michael Wiener sends a super chat. Arno Mitternacht sends a super chat. Cassiano Battaglia back again. Thanks, Cassiano. Cassiano's been a supporter bigly. Cassiano, how many times Trump says witch hunt could be a game? Yeah, you know, everything people are saying is on my bingo board. You can find this on my Twitter page at dpacman. Witch hunt is in the upper right corner. So everything I'm seeing in the comments that Trump might say, so far, I put on my bingo board, which I generated with help from the audience. So I'm not patting myself on the back, of course. Let's see. Andrew Dwyer says, is not attending the State of the Union an effective way to protest? Not really. I don't think so. You're just not there, and you know, it's mentioned, but it's not really a big thing. Onus says, shouldn't we boycott this? Trump wants the ratings. Listen, Trump wants the ratings, but if you're watching on an independent progressive YouTube channel like this one, it's doing nothing for Trump and it's not showing up in the ratings. You're just supporting me by watching here. So I very much appreciate that. Let's see. Stun Ever. One of your bingo squares could be drops dead of a coronary. Maybe Rush Limbaugh is contagious. Here's hoping. When did I get so toxic? Yeah, I talked about Rush Limbaugh having lung cancer on the bonus show today. I think the guy is totally toxic politically. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and I feel bad for the guy. I don't want anybody to have lung cancer, not even my worst enemy. Let me say thank you to nobody else. I thought I had someone else to thank for a website membership. In comes someone. Let's see what's going on.
The Dean of the Diplomatic Corps.
Mild applause for the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. We will absolutely get over to the audio as soon as Donald Trump has arrived. If you were just joining us on Twitch, please make sure you are following my channel. If you are just joining on YouTube, please hit the like button. We would love to get to 1,000 likes before the speech starts in 10 minutes. The likes are really helpful to us, and they help get more people into the stream. And right after hitting like, I have just one other small request. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We had an amazing night yesterday, beautiful night, where we surpassed 800,000 YouTube subscribers, and got a lot of congratulations today from people in the audience. And I would love it if you not only hit the like button. Wow, it's like a slot machine. It's going up very quickly. Hit the like button, but also hit subscribe, because that really is a big thing for us. It's free. It's completely free. Let's see here. Other super chats that are coming in. Matt N says, I did cover my $20 mistake last time, so I'm doing it right. Okay, thank you, Matt. Trisha Pena Art says, appreciate all you do. I appreciate you being here, Trisha. I appreciate that. Zelda Freak 22 says, happy birthday, David. Any predictions? I predict Trump attacks socialism. And probably there's Jerry Nadler and Zoe Lofgren, by the way. Jared Kushner there next to Ivanka Trump. Remember Trump famously saying that if Ivanka weren't his daughter, he would be interested in dating her. That's what the president of the United States once said. I predict that there will be a lot of sniffing and maybe a lot of dissembling by Donald Trump. Thanks to Sean is Crazy for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thanks to Zabakai22 for subscribing with Twitch Prime. You two, there's Adam Schiff. You two are subscribers 859 and 860 on Twitch, which I appreciate. Seth Van Rook says, opened the bingo card on Photoshop. I'm ready. Yeah. The bingo card is on my Twitch page. Oh, that's Kirsten Cinema, by the way. This is the bingo. Follow me on Twitter at dpacman. You will see the bingo card. There are 25, it's really 24 squares and a free square. Pay attention. I want to know. I am expecting from you guys that if and when bingo is hit, people will put it in the chat, because I actually do think that bingo is likely with everything that we've got going on here. So that's on my Twitter page at dpacman. Calvin Bartlett has subscribed on YouTube. Thanks, Calvin. Arno Mitternacht says, why is the Republican Party protecting Trump besides his tweets? I don't know that I understand that. Why are they protecting him beside his tweets? I apologize that I'm not sure what you mean. Troy McEnroy says, congratulations on 800,000, dude. Thank you. I appreciate it. Eric Stifler. Hey, Eric. Zoe, I hope you feel better soon. All right. Catalot says, where do you prefer membership, including Patreon? We keep the largest share of payments on our website. YouTube takes a cut, and Twitch takes a cut, all that stuff. We keep the biggest portion on our website. So that is a good place to sign up. And on that note, I want to say thanks to Adam Clark. Adam Clark is new member number 13 today. As you can see, we have a target of 50 website members. We have gotten 13 of them. And the coupon code is 36 today in honor of my birthday. This is the Supreme Court entering. As you can see, Chief Justice John Roberts. You see Elena Kagan behind John Roberts and other people. They cut away. They will sit near the front, as do the generals, as Donald Trump likes to refer to them. Other super chats coming in. Donna Williams says, I hope Stormy Daniels shows up. That would be amazing if a Democrat had Stormy Daniels as a guest. I would love it. Marquez says, David, your show is the future of web news. Keep it up. What do you think of Trump's increased approval rating and how it will affect November of 2020? I believe that between the disaster in Iowa, combined with Trump's upcoming acquittal, it is very reasonable that Donald Trump may sail to re-election, although I hope not. We are about 5 minutes away from the entrance of Donald Trump into the chamber. I hope you will play bingo along with us. There is a bingo card on my Twitter page at dpacman where you can find it. I am particularly interested in seeing if Donald Trump refers to his perfect phone call, which is a square. I want to see if he talks about Mini Mike, meaning Mini Mike Bloomberg. Does he point to a black person in the crowd and refer to them as my African American, as he once did? And does the name Pocahontas get mentioned? Those are my bingo items that I am most curious about whether we will see or hear from Donald Trump today. If you were just joining us on YouTube, I see a few hundred more people have just joined. Welcome. I am so glad that you're here and that you're going to be watching the State of the Union address with me. Or better said, I am going to be watching it with you. Make sure to hit the like button. We are just 140 likes from 1,000 on this stream, and the likes really do help get more people in the audience. And also make sure to subscribe to the David Pakman Show YouTube channel. We hit 800,000 subscribers yesterday, which is crazy. All sorts of congratulations came in, including from my YouTube rep. There is Senator Kamala Harris. If I were Kamala Harris and I saw what took place in the Iowa caucus yesterday, I might regret having gotten out when I did. And I respect her for doing it because her campaign was imploding. But given the failure of Biden, at least in the results that we have so far, which are here, Pete Buttigieg becoming the sort of establishment candidate de facto, it could have been Kamala Harris. It could have been Kamala Harris. And I wonder if she is regretting having gotten out. There is Joaquin Castro, not Julian Castro. That's Joaquin Castro, the twin brother, of course, of Julian. We are expecting the president's entrance any moment now. Patrick A. Smith has signed up on YouTube. Thanks, Patrick. That fast scroll happened again. Prairie Rubbish says, say what you want about Trump. When you're stoned, he's the funniest man alive, even better than W. And he was epic. I don't disagree. Some of the stuff Trump tweets, like tweeting that Mike Bloomberg is negotiating standing on a box during debates, that's hilarious. That is genuinely hilarious. It's completely unpresidential, but it is very, very funny. Let me say thanks to Runner354 for subscribing with Twitch Prime and Sown Digital for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Very much appreciate that. We are just minutes from Donald Trump's entrance into the House chamber. I am taking super chat questions and Twitch subscription questions until then. The best way to support these streams is always just grab a membership on my website. This is really cheap. You know, you might not know it, but with your cable TV subscription, you're giving $2 a month to Fox News already. You can throw us a couple bucks a month instead by subscribing at joinpacman.com. I don't even need you to pay full price. It was my birthday on Sunday. We have a coupon code celebrating my birthday. The code is 36 today. It'll save you 50%. And then I will thank you profusely on stream if you sign up at joinpacman.com. In comes Melania Trump. There is a heavily bearded guy behind her doing a lot of clapping. We see, I believe that's Tiffany Trump on our right, Lara Trump on our left. Jared Kushner is there. Melania Trump making her way to her seat, shaking hands with a guy who no doubt will be the subject of at least one anecdote from Donald Trump today. No question about it. I am being told that due to explosive demand for memberships, the website is extremely slow. We've dealt with that issue before during streams. It's a good problem to have. Let me go ahead and just reboot the website. And I apologize to people physically struggling to get memberships. I'm going to get it fixed for you right now. And I do apologize for that. Okay. Should be back up and running very, very soon. We are getting very close to the entrance of Donald Trump. Still not yet. This is the cabinet, of course, of Donald Trump. We see Mike Pompeo and Steve Mnuchin. And who else is back there? Pompeo, Secretary of State. Stephen Mnuchin, of course, the Secretary of the Treasury. Who else is behind? I'm trying to see there. Some people I don't recognize. Some people's faces I don't recognize. Let me say thank you to Carol Mears. Carol Mears has subscribed at joinpacman.com and is new member number 14. You see Mike Pompeo shaking hands there with Justice John Roberts. That was Attorney General William Barr, one of the most corrupt attorneys general in a very, very long time. We have a sickening group of people here associated with Donald Trump. And folks, it's going to get much worse if this guy gets himself reelected. I believe, who are we seeing here? I believe that's Elaine Chao, Ben Carson. We see maybe the most unqualified Secretary of Education ever, Betsy DeVos. Who else is coming in here? Filing in like the crooks that they are, the corrupt crony capitalist crooks that they are. Who else do we see? I don't know who all of these people are. Interestingly enough. Let's see here. Yeah, I see the super chats about trouble on the website. I have just rebooted the website and it should be clear for you to go ahead and grab a membership now. I just rebooted it and I believe that the performance should be improving drastically. High demand during these streams because of the number of people trying to grab memberships. I'm aware of it. Let's see. Mantra Light of Angels says, "How many glitches will Trump have tonight?" I'm curious myself. How many glitches we will see from Trump. How off script will the Mango Menace go? Asks Val from Agawam. I think Trump will actually stay on script today. There's Cory Booker. I believe that's is that Blumenthal on the left? That's definitely Melania Trump. That I know. Christopher Hatch says, "Catch the wave, WHAV, Merrimack Valley." Beautiful. Stun Ever, who is the designated survivor tonight? I don't know. That's a good question. Usually there is someone selected to not be here in case the worst might happen and everybody gets killed. I mean, it's grim, but that's why they do it. And I don't know who the designated survivor is today. Harrison Jordan says, "Looking forward to a night full of brain malfunctions." Dante Gee says, "Favorite thing about Trump? Sorry for the hard task." His funny tweets. I mean, I find some of his tweets absolutely hilarious. All right, let's see. I am told that the website is sort of back up and running. I am told there's also a minute left until that reboot is completely finished. But yeah, the website's getting hammered right now thanks to demand for memberships. I apologize. I really do. But we are working to get it back up as quickly as possible. Donald Trump should be entering any moment. Let's get live audio here. Any moment, the Sergeant at Arms will come in and introduce the President of the United States. Laurette Stone says, "Happy birthday, David." Waller is me says, "Sorry if you addressed this. Do you believe there's a decent chance the caucus debacle was partially intentionally played out by the DNC?" I am not ready to say that at this point in time. I want to be careful about saying something I don't have evidence for. There is the Sergeant at Arms, Paul something, I believe is his name, or Pete, and there is Donald Trump, and they are about ready to get started. Let's take a listen.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
Let's see who is and is not clapping here. It looks like Downer Trump. From what I'm seeing so far, it does look like Downer Trump. Yair asked, "Is this our government or an animal shelter?" That's brutal. Donald Trump continuing to make his way in. Trump saying something to John Roberts, who of course is about to preside over Donald Trump's acquittal in the Senate impeachment trial. This is alpha male Trump doing his stance. Now, it's weird. Like, if you're Nancy Pelosi and you think this guy should be impeached, why do you clap? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Why even bother? Decorum. Decorum, I would say. Thanks to Jaskaran Sandhu. Jaskaran Sandhu is new member number 15 today. Keep those new members coming. It's very, very exciting. And I am told the website is back up. This is a good opportunity to grab those memberships people were going for. Black Hill Gaming says Commander-in-Chief Jack Sparrow is about to speak. Drew is me, David, trying to get onto your website to become a member, but having trouble. The website should be back up, I am told. Nancy Pelosi now.
Members of Congress, the President of the United States.
Certainly more muted applause than we are used to seeing. And in fact, it looks like the Democratic side is not clapping at Nancy Pelosi's introduction. That is a departure from the standard decorum that you see during these, if I'm looking at that correctly. And as predicted, 9:07 p.m., as I said, Trump going into it.
Madam Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of Congress, the First Lady of the United States.
Oh, give me a break.
And my fellow citizens, 3 years ago, we launched the Great American Comeback. Tonight, I stand before you to share the incredible results.
Oh, God, it's going to be hard to fact check this,
Jobs
guys.
are booming, incomes are soaring, poverty is plummeting, crime is falling, confidence is surging, and our country is thriving and highly respected again.
That is untrue. He is sniffing, though. You can check off sniffing on the bingo page. Thanks to RJ Rodrigo and Bradley for the new subscriptions. I appreciate that. As well as Vicente.
America's enemies are on the run. America's fortunes are on the rise, and America's future is blazing bright. The years of economic decay are over.
Quick fact check, the stock market is underperforming the stock market under Barack Obama during the first 3 years and 1 week of presidency. Trump's stock market
The days of our
underperforming.
country being used, taken advantage of, and even scorned by other nations are long behind us.
These lies are even more vapid than most
Gone
State of
too
the
are the
Union.
broken promises, jobless recoveries, tired platitudes, and constant excuses for the depletion of American wealth, power, and prestige. In just 3 short years, we have shattered the mentality of American decline, and we have rejected the downsizing of Americans' destiny. We have totally rejected the downsizing.
That's an ad lib.
We're
He's
moving
sniffing.
forward at a pace that was unimaginable just a short time ago, and we are never, ever going back.
Dear God. Nancy Pelosi paging
I am
through. She's like,
thrilled
I can't
to
believe
report
this
to you
shit.
tonight that our economy is the best it has ever been. Our military is completely rebuilt, with its power being unmatched anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. Our borders are secure. Our families are flourishing. Our values are renewed. our pride is restored. And for all of these reasons, I say to the people of our great country and to the members of Congress, the state of our union is stronger than ever before.
If our borders are secure, why do we need the wall?
The vision I will lay out this evening demonstrates how we are building the world's most prosperous and inclusive society, one where every citizen can join in America's unparalleled success and where every community can take part in America's extraordinary rise. From the instant I took office, I moved rapidly to revive the U.S. economy, slashing a record number of job-killing regulations, enacting historic and record-setting tax cuts, and fighting for fair and reciprocal trade agreements.
Yikes, folks, yikes.
Our agenda is relentlessly pro-worker, pro-family, pro-growth, and most of all, pro-American.
Imagine seeing this stuff and feeling good about it, right? Like, I wish I was that delusional. I really do.
Thank you.
There's Debbie.
We are advancing with unbridled optimism and lifting our citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed very, very high. Since my election, we have created 7 million new jobs, 5 million more than government experts projected during the previous administration.
That's such a confusing statement that it'll just get delayed applause as people say, I don't get that, but I'll clap. What the hell? Did anybody get bingo
The unemployment
yet?
rate is the lowest in over half a century. And very incredibly, the average unemployment rate under my administration is lower than any administration in the history of our country.
Even Republicans don't believe this shit. John Roberts might as well clap, right? Like, the game is over. We know, John. We know.
If we hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, the world would not now be witnessing this great economic success. The unemployment rate for African Americans, Hispanic Americans,
That's
and
on my
Asian
bingo
Americans has reached the lowest levels in history.
There it is. Hope you're playing along.
African American youth unemployment has reached an all-time low.
Double bingo.
African American poverty has declined to the lowest rate ever recorded.
Identity politics.
The unemployment rate for women reached the lowest level in almost 70 years, and last year women filled 72% of all new jobs added.
I love Mike Pence pretending that he likes that.
The veterans' unemployment rate dropped to a record low. The unemployment rate for disabled Americans has reached an all-time low. Workers without a high school diploma have achieved the lowest unemployment rate recorded in U.S. history. A record number of young Americans are now employed.
And a record number are unemployed. When the population goes up,
Under
both
the
those
last
numbers go up.
administration, more than 10 million people were added to the food stamp rolls. Under my administration, 7 million Americans have come off food stamps, and 10 million people have been lifted off of welfare.
To say people have come off of food stamps doesn't mean much if you've simply cut the program and kicked them off, right? That's like saying we've taken 10 people off of life support today. Well, did they die or did they come off of life support because they don't need it anymore?
In 8 years under the last administration, over 300,000 working-age people dropped out of the workforce. In just 3 years of my administration, 3.5 million people, working-age people, have joined the workforce. Since my election, the net worth of the bottom half of wage earners has increased by 47%, 3 times faster than the increase for the top 1%.
Ooh.
After decades of flat and falling incomes, wages are rising fast, and wonderfully, they are rising fastest for low-income workers who have seen a 16% pay increase since my election.
That is maybe the most deceptive stat so far. I'll have to break it down tomorrow. Some of this is just made up.
This is a blue-collar boom.
Look at who got the lion's share of the tax cuts and say that with a straight face, my friend.
Real median household income is now at the highest level ever recorded. Since my election, U.S. stock markets have soared 70%, adding more than $12 trillion to our nation's wealth, transcending anything anyone believed was possible. This is a record. It is something that every country in the world is looking up to. They admire.
Remember, I ran the numbers. Performance was better under Obama's first 3 years in the stock market than under
Consumer
Trump's.
confidence
It's a
has
lie.
just reached amazing new highs. All of those millions of people with 401ks and pensions are doing far better than they have ever done before, with increases of 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100% and even more. Jobs and investments are pouring into 9,000 previously neglected neighborhoods thanks to Opportunity Zones, a plan spearheaded by Senator Tim Scott as part of our great Republican tax cuts.
Oh, dear. There's Looney Lindsay in Lankford. This guy right here is, he's one of the craziest senators out there.
In other words, wealthy people and companies are pouring money into poor neighborhoods or areas that haven't seen investment in many decades, creating jobs, energy, and excitement. This is the first time that these deserving communities have seen anything like this. It's all working. Opportunity Zones are helping Americans like Army veteran Tony Rankins from Cincinnati, Ohio. After struggling with drug addiction,
Here we go.
Tony lost his job, his house, and his family. He was homeless. But then Tony found a construction company that invests in Opportunity Zones.
Oh, put him right
He
next
is
to
now a
Ivanka.
top tradesman, drug-free, reunited with his family, and he is here tonight Tony, keep up the great work, Tony.
This pandering is just, that poor guy. All hail King Trump, right?
Thank you, Tony. Our roaring economy has, for the first time ever, given many former prisoners the ability to get a great job and a fresh start. This second chance at life is made possible because we passed landmark criminal justice reform into law. Everybody said that criminal justice reform couldn't be done, but I got it done, and the people in this room got it done.
Everybody cheer for themselves. Stand up and cheer for yourself, please. Schumer's like, I'm still voting to convict, but I'll cheer for that.
Thanks to our bold regulatory reduction campaign, the United States has become the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world.
That's a bad thing. That's not good. We don't want that. That's bad.
With the tremendous progress we have made over the past 3 years, America is now energy independent, and energy jobs, like so many other elements of our country,
careful there, Pence.
are at a
Let
record
him finish
high.
the line. It's like puppeteers here. This is like sick.
We are doing numbers that no one would have thought possible just 3 years ago. Likewise, we are restoring our nation's manufacturing might, even though predictions were, as you all know, that this could never, ever be done. After losing 60,000 factories under the previous 2 administrations, America has now gained 12,000 new factories under my administration, with thousands upon thousands of plants and factories being planned or being built.
Nancy Pelosi's like, how many more pages of this crap are we going to have to sit through?
Companies are not leaving. They are coming back to the USA.
Those are lies. People asking how long it'll go.
The fact is that everybody wants to be where the action is, and the United States of America is indeed the place where the action is.
It's usually 75 to about 100
One of the biggest
minutes.
promises I made to the American people was to replace the disastrous NAFTA trade deal. In fact, unfair trade is perhaps the single biggest reason that I decided to run for president.
He figured out he could trick people
Following
on that
NAFTA's
one.
adoption, our nation lost 1 in 4 manufacturing jobs. Many politicians came and went, pledging to change or replace NAFTA, only to do so, and then absolutely nothing happened. But unlike so many who came before me, I keep my promises. We did our job.
Can you imagine? He keeps his promises. What happened to healthcare? What happened to the wall? What happened to paying off the debt? What I mean, it is. You've got to be an idiot or just a bad person to believe that.
6 days ago, I replaced NAFTA and signed the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement into law. The USMCA will create nearly 100,000 new high-paying American auto jobs and massively boost exports for our farmers, ranchers, and factory workers.
Yeah, people weren't super sure about whether they want to clap for that.
It will also bring trade with Mexico and Canada to a much higher level, but also to be a much greater degree of fairness and reciprocity. We will have that fairness and reciprocity. And I say that finally, because it's been many, many years that we were treated fairly on trade. This is the first major trade deal in many years to earn the strong backing of America's labor unions. I also
Yeah.
promised our citizens that I would impose tariffs to confront China's massive theft of America's jobs. Our strategy has worked.
Notice
Days
he's
ago,
starting
we
to lick
signed the
his lips, and he's
groundbreaking new
starting to go
agreement
into
with
the
China
shushing.
that will defend
The-
our workers, protect our intellectual property, bring billions and billions of dollars into our treasury, and open vast new markets for products made and grown right here in the USA. For decades, China has taken advantage of the United States. Now we have changed that. But at the same time, we have perhaps the best relationship we've ever had with China, including with President Xi. They respect what we've done because, quite frankly, they could never really believe that they were able to get away with what they were doing year after year, decade after decade, without
They didn't
someone
believe
in
it.
our country stepping up and saying, that's enough.
The overeager clapping Republicans
Now
are
we
interesting.
want to rebuild our country, and that's exactly what we're doing. We are rebuilding our country. As we restore
He's starting to lick his
American
teeth, guys.
leadership
And
throughout
this,
the world,
it's starting.
we are once again standing up for freedom in our hemisphere. That's why my administration reversed the failing policies of the previous administration on Cuba.
Idiotic reversal.
We are supporting the hopes of Cubans, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans to restore democracy. The United States is leading a 59-nation diplomatic coalition against the socialist dictator of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro.
Everybody can agree on that.
Maduro is an illegitimate ruler, a tyrant who brutalizes his people. But Maduro's grip on tyranny will be smashed and broken. Here this evening is a very brave man who carries with him the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of all Venezuelans.
Did they bring a refugee?
Joining us in the gallery is the true and legitimate president of Venezuela,
Oh,
Juan
dear.
Guaido. Mr. President, please take this message back to your family.
Oh, dear God. This is a geopolitical disaster. Disaster. Well, we're meddling, folks. We are meddling. This is bad. Maduro is horrible, but the U.S. can't be doing this.
Thank you, Mr. President. Great honor. Thank you very much. Please take this message back that all Americans are united with the Venezuelan people in their righteous struggle for freedom. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
That's true, but we can't be involved, guys. We can't be involved. This is terrible. Another standing ovation. Trump might have had a perfect phone call or two with this guy.
Thank you very much. Socialism destroys nations.
This is on my
but
bingo
always
card.
remember, freedom unifies the soul. To safeguard American liberty, we have invested a record-breaking $2.2 trillion in the United States military.
Spending money on the military, yeah. Remember, if you don't clap, you're unpatriotic.
We have purchased the finest planes, missiles, rockets, ships, and every other form of military equipment, and it's all made right here in the USA.
I have some arms dealers in the crowd.
We are also getting our allies, finally, to help pay their fair share. I have raised contributions from other NATO members by more than $400 billion, and the number of allies meeting their minimum obligations has more than doubled. And just weeks ago, for the first time since President Truman established the Air Force, more than 70 years earlier, we created a brand new branch of the United States Armed Forces.
Oh, God.
It's called the Space Force.
And we copied the logo from Star Trek.
Very important.
Let's bomb stuff in outer space now. The generals actually look a little bit skeptical of the Space Force.
In the gallery tonight, we have a young gentleman, and what he wants so badly, 13 years old, Ian Lawnfay. He's an 8th grader from Arizona. Ian, please stand up. Ian has always dreamed of going to space. He was the first in his class and among the youngest at an aviation academy.
Ugh.
He aspires to go to the Air Force Academy, and then he has his eye on the Space Force. As Ian says, most people look up at space. I want to look down on the world.
This kid kind of looks like I looked at his age. Weird. Wait, the kid's just interested in space? Like, he seems like a great kid, but what's his presence here justified by? I don't even understand.
But sitting behind Ian tonight is his greatest hero of them all. Charles McGee was born in Cleveland, Ohio, 1 century ago. Charles is one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen, the first black fighter pilots, and he also happens to be Ian's great-grandfather.
That's kind of cool and interesting. This is all pretty weird, I'm not going to lie, but it's interesting. Strangely interesting.
Incredible story. After more than 130 combat missions in World War II, he came back home to a country still struggling for civil rights and went on to serve America in Korea and Vietnam. On December 7th, Charles celebrated his 100th birthday.
How does Trump tie this into his policy other than Space Force, right? I mean, it's a very interesting story. The Tuskegee Airmen, it's fascinating. But usually there's a tie-in other than we're going to bomb shit in space.
A few weeks ago, I signed a bill promoting Charles McGee to Brigadier General. And earlier today, I pinned the stars on his shoulders in the Oval Office. General McGee, our nation salutes you. Thank you, sir.
So it's self-aggrandizing. It's I did this thing.
From the Pilgrims to the founders, from the soldiers at Valley Forge to the marchers at Selma, and from President Lincoln to the Reverend Martin Luther King,
From the
Americans have
KKK
always
to the
rejected
neo-Nazis.
limits on our children's future. Members of Congress, we must never forget that the only victories that matter in Washington are victories that deliver for the American people.
And I am the opposite of the embodiment of that idea. Yeah, Nadler and Schiff having a hard time with that one.
The people are the heart of our country. Their dreams are the soul of our country, and their love is what powers and sustains our country. We must always remember that our job is to put America first.
You can say it, it doesn't make it real.
The next step forward in building an inclusive society is making sure that every young American gets a great education and the opportunity to achieve the American dream. Yet for too long, countless American children have been trapped in failing government schools. To rescue these students, 18 states have created school choice in the form of opportunity scholarships.
Uh-oh.
The programs are so popular that tens of thousands of students remain on a waiting list. One of those students is Janiyah Davis, a fourth grader from Philadelphia.
I think everybody
Janiyah.
understands the pandering that's going on.
Janiyah's mom, Stephanie, is a single parent. She would do anything to give her daughter a better future. But last year, that future was put further out of reach when Pennsylvania's governor vetoed legislation to expand school choice to 50,000 children. Janiyah and Stephanie are in the gallery. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here with your beautiful daughter. Thank you very much.
Anybody else finding it weird that as nice as I'm sure these people are, it's not like they've really done something that ties into Trump policy. They're props for Trump to criticize people.
But Janiyah, I have some good news for you, because I am pleased to inform you that your long wait is over. I can proudly announce tonight that an opportunity scholarship has become available. It's going to you, and you will soon be heading to the school of your choice.
These are props for Trump's sycophancy.
Now I call on Congress to give 1 million American children the same opportunity Janiyah has just received. Pass the Education Freedom Scholarships and Opportunities Act, because no parent should be forced to send their child to a failing government school.
Bad government schools. Betsy DeVos may be the most clueless Secretary of Education in this country's history, and we've had some clueless people in power.
Every young person should have a safe and secure environment in which to learn and to grow. For this reason, our magnificent First Lady has launched the Be Best initiative to advance a safe, healthy, supportive, and drug-free life.
She's against bullying, which Trump does daily.
Online, in school, and in our communities. Thank you, Melania, for your extraordinary love and profound care for America's children. Thank you very much.
She seems skeptical of Trump in this. Thank you. Very, very formal relationship they have. I think they refer to each other as sir and ma'am. I'm cringing, guys. I'm cringing.
My administration is determined to give our citizens the opportunities they need, regardless of age or background. Through our pledge to American workers, over 400 companies will also provide new jobs and education opportunities to almost 15 million Americans. my budget also contains an exciting vision for our nation's high schools. Tonight, I ask Congress to support our students and back my plan to offer vocational and technical education in every single high school in America.
Okay.
To expand equal opportunity, I am also proud that we achieved record and permanent funding for our nation's historically black colleges and universities.
It's just really milquetoast applause lines.
A good life for American families also requires the most affordable, innovative, and high-quality health care system on earth.
Let's see what he says.
Before I took office, health insurance premiums had more than doubled in just 5 years.
Oh, no.
I moved quickly to provide affordable alternatives.
This has
Our
to be
new
a lie.
plans are up to 60% less expensive and better.
These are straight up fabrications. These are just lies. Website is working now, by the way, folks. I see new memberships coming in. I see some people saying
I've
it's not.
also made an ironclad pledge to American families. We will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions.
Actually, Obamacare did that. Oh, that's hilarious. Obamacare did that.
And we will always protect your Medicare, and we will always protect your Social Security, always.
He's proposed cutting those.
The American patient should never be blindsided by medical bills. That is why I signed an executive order requiring price transparency.
This is shocking.
Many
for me.
experts believe that transparency, which will go into full effect at the beginning of next year, will be even bigger than health care reform.
It won't. Nobody believes it.
It will save families massive amounts of money for substantially better care. But as we work to improve Americans' health care, there are those who want to take away your health care, take
you.
away your doctor, and abolish private insurance entirely. 132 lawmakers in this room have endorsed legislation to impose a socialist takeover of our health care system, wiping out the private health insurance plans of 180 million very happy Americans.
No one's clapping for
those
that because
watching
everyone
at
knows
home
nobody's
tonight,
happy with their
I
health.
want you to know we will never let socialism destroy American
There's the
healthcare.
line. Remember, folks, if you're playing along SOTU Bingo, socialism was the top left. I put this together this morning. I think someone must have bingo by now. He's hit everything so far.
Over 130 legislators in this chamber have endorsed legislation that would bankrupt our nation by providing free taxpayer-funded health care to millions of illegal aliens, forcing taxpayers to subsidize free care for anyone in the world who unlawfully crosses our borders. These proposals would raid the Medicare benefits of our seniors and that our seniors depend on,
which he wants to cut anyway,
while acting as a powerful lure for illegal immigration. That is what is happening in California and other states. Their systems are totally out of control, costing taxpayers vast and unaffordable amounts of money.
I think that's bingo, yeah.
If forcing American taxpayers to provide unlimited free health care to illegal aliens sounds fair to you, then stand with the radical left. But if you believe that we should defend American patients and American seniors, then stand with me and pass legislation to prohibit free government health care for illegal aliens.
How about getting people health care who don't have it? What about that?
This will be a tremendous boon to our already very strongly guarded southern border, where, as we speak, a long, tall, and very powerful wall is being built.
That is also on my bingo card. We are building the wall. Wow. Wow.
We have now completed over 100 miles and have over 500 miles fully completed in a very short period of time. Early next year, we will have substantially more than 500 miles completed. My administration is also taking on the big pharmaceutical companies. We have approved a
Just to
record
change
number of
topic
affordable
randomly.
generic drugs, and medicines are being approved by the FDA at a faster clip than ever before.
That's one of those things that even if it's true, it's genuinely irrelevant because the devil is in the details. If it's even true, right? Who even knows?
And I was pleased to announce last year that for the first time in 51 years, the cost of prescription drugs actually went down.
And some of these are actually, you got to hand it to them. These are new talking points we've not yet
And
factored.
working together, Congress can reduce drug prices substantially from current levels. I've been speaking to Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa.
Great guy.
And others in Congress in order to get something on drug pricing done, and done quickly and properly. I'm calling for bipartisan legislation that achieves the goal of dramatically lowering prescription drug prices. Get a bill on my desk and I will sign it into law immediately.
Give me a break, dude. Ben Carson is very, very sleepy. We got to get him home, guys. He has a dictionary to go read. Oh, there's a protest now.
With unyielding
There is now a
commitment,
protest, ladies and gentlemen. This
we
is the
are
moment of
curbing
protest.
the
We were wondering if it would
opioid
happen.
epidemic. Drug overdose deaths declined for the first time in nearly 30 years. Among the states hardest hit, Ohio is down 22%, Pennsylvania is down 18%,
I have no clue what they
Wisconsin
said.
is down 10%, and we will not quit until we have beaten the opioid epidemic once and for all.
He'll bomb it if he has to. He's going to beat that opioid epidemic into submission. Doesn't matter who he's got to bribe or who he's got to bomb.
Protecting Americans' health also means fighting infectious diseases. We are coordinating with the Chinese government and working closely together
Oh, so we are
on the
working with them. Got it.
coronavirus outbreak in China. My
China, there it is.
administration will take all necessary steps to safeguard our citizens from
I
this
think we've got
threat.
everything.
We have
There it
launched
is.
ambitious new initiatives to substantially improve care for Americans with kidney disease, Alzheimer's, and those struggling with mental health. And because Congress was so good as to fund my request, new cures for childhood cancer, and we will eradicate the AIDS epidemic in America by the end of this decade.
Okay.
Almost every American family knows the pain when a loved one is diagnosed with a serious illness. Here tonight is a special man, beloved by millions of Americans, who just received a stage 4
Is it Rush?
advanced cancer diagnosis. This is not good news, but what is good news is that he is the greatest fighter and winner that you will ever meet. Rush Limbaugh, thank you for your decades of tireless devotion to our country. And Rush, in recognition of all that you have done for our nation, the millions of people a day that you speak to and that you inspire, and all of the incredible work that you have done for charity, I am proud to announce tonight that you will be receiving our country's highest civilian honor,
Oh, no.
the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah, he doesn't even think that makes any sense. He's like, this can't be right.
I will now ask the First Lady of the United States to present you
Oh, now?
with the honor. Please.
They're doing it now. Oh, my God. Man, this is something else. Nancy Pelosi just looking away. I mean, this is very crazy what's going on.
Rush and Catherine, congratulations. Thank you, Catherine. As we pray for all who are sick, we know that America is constantly achieving new medical breakthroughs. In 2017, doctors at St. Luke's Hospital in Kansas City delivered one of the earliest premature babies ever to survive. Born at just 21 weeks and 6 days and weighing less than a pound, Ellie Schneider was a born fighter. Through the skill of her doctors and the prayers of her parents, little Ellie kept on winning the battle of life.
Ellie's
Today,
past her
Ellie
bedtime,
is a
that's for
strong,
sure.
healthy 2-year-old girl sitting with her amazing mother, Robin. In the gallery, Ellie and Robin, we are glad to have you with us tonight. Ellie reminds us that every child is a miracle of life. And thanks to modern medical wonders, 50% of very premature babies delivered at the hospital where Ellie was born now survive. It's an incredible thing. Thank you very much.
You know, it's like, that's great. None of this
Our
has
goal
anything
should
to do
be
with
to
Trump.
ensure that every baby has the best chance to thrive and grow just like Ellie. That is why I'm asking Congress to provide an additional $50 million to fund neonatal research for America's youngest patients. That is why I'm also calling upon members of Congress here tonight to pass legislation finally banning the late-term abortion of babies.
Ah, okay, so she's a right-winger, right? Something about this is feeling really weird, guys. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like, I'm feeling a little sick.
Whether we are Republican, Democrat, or Independent, surely we must all agree that every human life is a sacred gift from God. As we support America's moms and dads, I was recently proud to sign
This guy's an atheist.
the law providing new parents in the federal workforce paid family leave, serving as a model for the rest of the country. Now I call on Congress to pass the bipartisan Advancing Support for Working Families Act, extending family leave to mothers and fathers all across our nation. $40 million American families have an average $2,200 extra thanks to our child tax credit.
Now, important to understand, many have lost money from other changes to the tax code.
I've also overseen historic funding increases for high-quality child care, enabling 17 states to help more children, many of which have reduced or eliminated their wait lists altogether. And I sent Congress a plan with a vision to further expand access to high-quality child care and urge you to act immediately. To protect the environment, days ago, I announced that the United States will join the 1 Trillion Trees Initiative, an ambitious effort to bring together government and private sector to
More
plant
like 1
new
million
trees in
treesies.
America and all around the world. We must also rebuild America's infrastructure.
Something we can agree on, right? Except he wants to do it with crony no-bid contracts to his friends. You win some, you lose some.
I ask you to pass Senator John Barrasso's highway bill to invest in new roads, bridges, and tunnels all across our land. I'm also committed
Couple
to
claps for
ensuring that every citizen can have access to high-speed internet, including and especially in rural America. A better tomorrow for all Americans also requires us to keep America safe. That means supporting the men and women of law enforcement at every level, including our nation's heroic ICE officers.
Let's see if we can do some profiling of dangerous Hispanics here. I think he'll be able to work it in, particularly if Stephen Miller's been involved in this speech. Nancy Pelosi's looking for that
Last year,
page.
our brave ICE officers arrested more than 120,000 criminal aliens charged with nearly 10,000 burglaries,
There it goes.
5,000 sexual assaults, 45,000 violent assaults, and 2,000 murders. Tragically, there are many cities in America where radical politicians have chosen to provide sanctuary for these criminal, illegal aliens. In sanctuary cities, local officials order police to release dangerous criminal aliens to prey upon the public instead of handing them over to ICE to be safely removed.
Oh, boy.
Just 29 days ago, a criminal alien freed by the sanctuary city of New York was charged with the brutal rape and murder of a 92-year-old woman. The killer had been previously arrested for assault, but under New York sanctuary policies, he was set free. If the city had honored ICE's detainer request, his victim would still be alive today. The state of California passed an outrageous law declaring their whole state to be a sanctuary for criminal,
It's a
illegal
sanctuary,
immigrants.
guys. It's an attack on
A very
Pelosi.
terrible sanctuary with catastrophic results. Here is just one tragic example. In December 2018, California police detained an illegal alien with 5 prior arrests, including convictions for robbery and assault. But as required by California's sanctuary law, local authorities released him. Days later, the criminal alien went on a gruesome spree of deadly violence. He viciously shot one man going about his daily work. He approached a woman sitting in her car and shot her in the arm and in the chest. He walked into a convenience store and wildly fired his weapon. He hijacked a truck and smashed into vehicles, critically injuring innocent victims. One of the victims is a terrible, terrible situation. Died, 51-year-old American named Rocky Jones. Rocky was at a gas station when this vile criminal fired 8 bullets at him from close range, murdering him in cold blood. Rocky left behind a devoted family, including his brothers, who loved him more than anything else in the world. One of his grieving brothers is here with us tonight. Jody, would you please stand? Jody, thank you. Jody, our hearts weep for your loss, and we will not rest until you have justice. Senator Tom Tillis has introduced legislation to allow Americans like Jody to sue sanctuary cities and states when a loved one is hurt or killed as a result of these deadly practices.
You know, this portion could be for talking about gun violence, right? Instead of doing the same old stuff about criminal illegals.
I ask Congress to pass the Justice for Victims of Sanctuary Cities Act immediately. The United States of America should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens.
Dear God.
In the last 3 years, ICE has arrested over 5,000 wicked human traffickers, and I have signed 9 pieces of legislation to stamp out the menace of human trafficking domestically and all around the globe. My administration has undertaken an unprecedented effort to secure the southern border of the United States. Before I came into office, if you showed up illegally on our southern border and were arrested, you were simply released and allowed into our country, never to be seen again. My administration has ended catch and release. If you come illegally, you will now be promptly removed from our country. Very importantly, we entered into historic cooperation agreements with the governments of Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. As a result of our unprecedented efforts, illegal crossings are down 75% since May, dropping 8 straight months in a row.
Great, we don't need the wall.
And as the wall rapidly goes up, drug seizures rise, and the border crossings are going down and going down very rapidly. Last year, I traveled to the border in Texas and met Chief Patrol Agent Raul Ortiz. Over the last 24 months, Agent Ortiz and his team have seized more than 200,000 pounds of poisonous narcotics, arrested more than 3,000 human smugglers,
What is poisonous?
and rescued more than 2,000 migrants. Days ago, Agent Ortiz was promoted to Deputy Chief of Border Patrol, and he joins us tonight. Chief Ortiz, please stand.
Thanks, Joshua, for the subscription, by the way. I do see those, and I'm
A
keeping the
grateful
counter
nation
updated.
thanks you and all of the heroes of Border Patrol and ICE. Thank you very much. Thank you. To build on these historic gains, we are working on legislation to replace our outdated and randomized immigration system with one based on merit, welcoming those who follow the rules, contribute to our economy, support themselves financially, and uphold our values. With every action, my administration is restoring the rule of law and reasserting the culture of American freedom.
Muted applause there.
Working with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Oh, dear. No,
Mitch.
no, no. Even more turtle-like today than we've seen before.
And his colleagues in the Senate, we have confirmed a record number of 187 new federal judges to uphold our Constitution as written. This includes two brilliant new Supreme Court justices, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Thank you.
Justices. The judges are arguably the worst thing he's done, actually.
And we have many in the pipeline.
We know. Which is why we got to get him out.
My administration is also defending religious liberty, and that includes the constitutional right to pray in public schools.
That is very different than organized prayer time, my friends. Pray in your head. Nobody has to know. Organized prayer time is a different thing. That is establishing
we
religion.
don't punish prayer. We don't tear down crosses. We don't ban symbols of faith. We don't muzzle preachers and pastors.
Muzzle.
In America, we celebrate faith. We cherish religion. We lift our voices in prayer, and we raise our sights to the glory of God. Just as we believe in the First Amendment, we also believe in another constitutional right that is under siege all across our country. So long as I am president, I will always protect your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms.
It's the red meat, folks. He's really doing it. He is just throwing it out there raw. Nancy Pelosi's burning certain pages with a lighter.
In reaffirming our heritage as a free nation, we must remember that America has always been a frontier nation.
Interesting yelling there.
Now we must embrace the next frontier.
Nancy Pelosi's calling
America's
someone out.
manifest destiny in the stars. I am asking Congress to fully fund the Artemis program to ensure that the next man and the first woman on the moon will be American astronauts, using this as a launching pad to ensure that America is the first nation to plant its flag on Mars.
Thanks, Jacob, for signing up for the membership. Appreciate it. As this really devolves
My
into a
administration
farce.
is also strongly defending our national security and combating radical Islamic terrorism.
Terra. We need Bernie.
Last week, I announced a groundbreaking plan for peace between Israel and the Palestinians.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Recognizing that all past attempts have failed, we must be determined and creative in order to stabilize the region and give millions of young people the chance to realize a better future. 3 years ago, the barbarians of ISIS held over 20,000 square miles of territory in Iraq and Syria. Today, the ISIS territorial caliphate has been 100% destroyed, and the founder and leader of ISIS, the bloodthirsty killer known as al-Baghdadi, is dead.
Fact check. We now are learning about the resurgence and reasserting of ISIS, with the number 2 in command replacing al-Baghdadi. Exactly as predicted. ISIS actually a growing problem in Iraq and Syria. These are just lies.
We are joined this evening by Carl and Marcia Mueller.
Uh-oh.
After graduating from college, their beautiful daughter, Carla, became a humanitarian aid worker. She once wrote, "Some people find God in church. Some people find God in nature. Some people find God in love. I find God in suffering. I've known for some time what my life's work is, using my hands as tools to relieve suffering." In 2013, while caring for suffering civilians in Syria, Kayla was kidnapped, tortured, and enslaved by ISIS and kept as a prisoner of al-Baghdadi himself. After more than 500 horrifying days of captivity, al-Baghdadi murdered young, beautiful Kayla. She was just 26 years old. On the night that U.S. Special Forces operations ended al-Baghdadi's miserable life, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, received a call in the Situation Room. He was told that the brave men of the elite Special Forces team that so perfectly carried out the operation had given their mission a name, Task Force 814. It was a reference to a special day, August 14th, Kayla's birthday. Carl and Marcia, America's warriors, never forgot Kayla, and neither will we. Thank you.
I mean, you know, these are, nobody doubts the tragic nature of these stories, obviously. But the way in which they're used to justify particularly terrible policies, it's what's sick.
Every day, America's men and women in uniform demonstrate the infinite depth of love that dwells in the human heart. One of these American heroes was Army Staff Sergeant Christopher Hake. On his second deployment to Iraq in 2008, Sergeant Hake wrote a letter to his one-year-old son, Gage. "I will be with you again," he wrote to Gage. "I will teach you to ride your first bike, build your first sandbox, watch you play sports, and see you have kids also. I love you, son. Take care of your mother. I am always with you, Daddy." On Easter Sunday of 2008, Chris was out on patrol in Baghdad when his Bradley fighting vehicle was hit by a roadside bomb. That night, he made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Sergeant Hake now rests in eternal glory in Arlington, and his wife, Kelly, is in the gallery tonight, joined by their son, who is now a 13-year-old and doing very, very well. To Kelly and Gage, Chris will live in our hearts forever. He is looking down on you now. Thank you.
Oh, man. You know, of course, the idea is to translate this into people saying, "I'm going to vote for Trump in November," and you know, the details of these stories
Thank you very much.
should not encourage
Thank you
that.
both very much. The terrorist responsible for killing Sergeant Hake was Qasem Soleimani, who provided the deadly roadside bomb that took Chris's life. Soleimani was the Iranian regime's most ruthless butcher, a monster who murdered or wounded thousands of American service members in Iraq. As the world's top terrorist, Soleimani orchestrated the deaths of countless men, women, and children. He directed the December assault and went on to assault U.S. forces in Iraq, was actively planning new attacks when we hit him very hard.
Pentagon denies
And that's
that.
why last month, at my direction, the U.S. military executed a flawless.
Oh, geez. Whoa, hold on. Let's resume that. Apologies. I think we are back here. Apologies for that,
delivering
folks.
his third State of the Union address to a joint session of Congress
Oh, dear.
and the nation. This is a speech which outlines
Here we
his
go.
foreign policy priorities.
We'll get this all fixed up, guys. Apologies.
In recent months, we have seen proud Iranians raise their voices against their oppressive rulers. The Iranian regime must abandon its pursuit of nuclear weapons, stop spreading terror, death, and destruction, and start working for the good of its own people. Because of our powerful sanctions, the Iranian economy is doing very, very poorly. We can help them make a very good and short-time recovery. It can all go very quickly, but perhaps they are too proud or too foolish to ask for that help. We are here. Let's see which road they choose. It is totally up to them.
Good thing I had a backup.
As we defend American lives, we are working to end America's wars in the Middle East. In Afghanistan, the determination and valor of our warfighters has allowed us to make tremendous progress, and peace talks are now underway. I am not looking to kill hundreds of thousands of people in Afghanistan, many of them totally innocent. It is also not
Remember,
our
Trump
function
dropped
to
record
serve
bombs on
other
Afghanistan
nations
last
as
year.
law enforcement agencies. These are warfighters that we have, the best in the world, and they either want to fight to win or not fight at all. We are working to finally end America's longest war and bring our troops back home.
Remember, he dropped record bombs on Afghanistan last year.
War places a heavy burden on our nation's extraordinary military families, especially spouses like Amy Williams from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and her two children, 6-year-old Eliana and 3-year-old Rowan. Amy works full-time and volunteers countless hours helping other military families. For the past 7 months, she has done it all while her husband, Sergeant First Class Townsend Williams, is in Afghanistan on his 4th deployment in the Middle East. Amy's kids haven't seen their father's face in many months. Amy, your family's sacrifice makes it possible for all of our families to live in safety and in peace, and we want to thank you. Thank you, Amy. But Amy, there is one more thing. Tonight we have a very special surprise. I am thrilled to inform you that your husband is back from deployment. He is here with us tonight, and we couldn't keep him waiting any longer.
This just has no place at a State of the Union. This is a reality show. This is a reality show. Wow. Wow, what a great president. Vote for him in November, right? I mean, the problem is that this type of nonsense works on people. Remember when Trump got that soldier? Guess I'll vote for him.
Welcome home, Sergeant Williams. Thank you very much. As the world bears witness tonight, America is a land of heroes. This is a place where greatness is born, where destinies are forged, and where legends come to life. This is the home of Thomas Edison and Teddy Roosevelt, of many great generals, including Washington, Pershing, Patton, and MacArthur.
Patent.
This is the home of Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Amelia Earhart, Harriet Tubman, the Wright brothers, Neil Armstrong, and so many more. This is the country where children learn names like Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett, and Annie Oakley. This is the place
Where
the
wings take
Pilgrims
dream.
landed at Plymouth, and where Texas patriots made their last stand at the Alamo. The beautiful, beautiful Alamo. The American nation was carved out of the vast frontier by the toughest, strongest, fiercest, and most determined men and women ever to walk on the face of the earth. Our ancestors braved the unknown, tamed the wilderness, settled the Wild West, lifted millions from poverty, disease, and hunger, vanquished tyranny and fascism, ushered the world to new heights of science and medicine, laid down the railroads, dug out the canals, raised up the skyscrapers, and ladies and gentlemen, our ancestors built the most exceptional republic ever to exist in all of human history, and we are making it greater than ever before.
Hard to feel that when people die just because they don't have health care, right? I mean, why is Kristen Cinema clapping? I mean, it's also like a half clap. Give me a break. Either commit and clap or don't clap.
This is our glorious and magnificent inheritance. We are Americans. We are pioneers. We are the pathfinders. We settled the new world. We built the modern world. And we change history forever by embracing the eternal truth that everyone is made equal by the hand of Almighty God.
He doesn't believe this. I mean, this guy's arguably the least religious president in the modern era. The idea that anyone would believe this is actually hilarious. It's a delusion.
America is the place where anything can happen. America is the place where anyone can rise. And here, on this land, on this soil, on this continent, the most incredible dreams come true. This nation is our canvas, and this country is our masterpiece. We look at tomorrow and see unlimited frontiers just waiting to be explored. Our brightest discoveries are not yet known. Our most thrilling stories are not yet told. Our grandest journeys are not yet made.
He really seems to mean it, huh?
The American age, the American epic, the American adventure has only just begun. Our spirit is still young. The sun is still rising. God's grace is still shining. And my fellow Americans, the best is yet to come. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
They cut away from Nancy ripping it up. Was she about to rip it up? It looked like Nancy was about to rip up that last page. She is ripping it up, yes. She's ripping it up right behind Trump.
And President Trump
Ripping it all and throwing it all in the trash. You've got to love it. Oh my goodness. That I cannot even. And tossing it onto the desk. Can you imagine? What a brutal, brutal takedown by Nancy Pelosi. Right behind him, ripping it to shreds. Wow, this is 2020. This is unbelievable. 2020. It is that is a power move if I have ever seen one. She just ripped it up. Oh man, that's a big congratulations there to Nancy Pelosi. Wow. We have seen just truly, truly an incredible night of pawns and props, lies and deception, allusions to a Christianity that clearly is not really the Christianity of Donald Trump. Unbelievable. I mean, just this is incredible. What an incredible evening. We are going to hear from Bernie Sanders eventually, Trump signing some dude's tie. Was that Jim Sensenbrenner? I'm not sure who that is. We are going to eventually hear the rebuttal from Bernie Sanders, the Democratic rebuttal. I will take questions via Super Chat. I want to say thank you while the speech was going on. The blue bar filling with new members. Let me just get caught up and thank amazing people who signed up and took advantage of my birthday special while Trump was lying. Jacob Zavita, Justin Backhughes, James Garman. I want to say thanks to Joshua Barker, Matt Achziger. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Andrew Gray, Jared Morgan, Ryan Mitchell, Rosalio Telez, Sean Picard, Keith Williams Parker, Jacob Hill. So many great people. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Chris Torgerson and Jason Moskowitz signed up. Brittany Kramer, welcome Brittany. James Nicholson, Vicente Arreguin, Bradley Ward. Who else? RJ D'Angelo, Rodrigo Aceves, and I believe I'm caught up. Jaskaran Sandhu and Carol Mears. I believe that gets me caught up. If you've been just hanging out, I invite you, please do take advantage of the membership special. It's 60% off. You see the link right up there. And it really does support these streams. I would love it if folks did sign up. David, he never shook the speaker's hand, says Anthony Sanchez. Yes, that is true. Dutch Morgan says Pelosi having a temper tantrum because Trump didn't shake her hand. James Montalbano says, I love hearing him wheeze. I love how unhealthy he sounds. I hate that I love it, but this is where we are now. Have another Big Mac, Trump. Have 10. Arif Akhtar says, the tiny hands of God. Vinesh Ravi says, was this boomer porn? Seriously. Ricky Williams says, I was waiting for Sting to drop from the rafters and stare at Pelosi, but it never happened. We stopped short of that. We stopped short of that. Let me say thanks to Chill SD for subscribing on Twitch. Comfy Camper subscribed on Twitch. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Alan Byers says America made planes made with foreign parts from China, India, Mexico, and more. Guys, I think that we had bingo. I published my bingo card for SOTU 2020 this morning. Let's just go through and see what we got. Trump attacked socialism. Trump claimed we are building the wall. Didn't mention perfect phone call or impeachment or witch hunt. He slurred his speech. He said China. He was constantly sniffing. He talked about black unemployment. He talked about Obama indirectly, the previous administration. And I guess, okay, so we got about half of them. I had about half of them. When you look closely, it doesn't look that good. It appears that we still have no more updates out of Iowa. No more updates out of Iowa. And we are any second going to be seeing the rebuttal from Bernard Sanders. I also liked when he said sanctuary cities. That was arguably my favorite moment of the entire thing. Sanctuary cities. I do see people mentioning that they tried to sign up for a membership during the speech and that the website was down. The website is back up. It is fully up and running, and it is running beautifully. So if you were trying to use the coupon code 36 today and it didn't work, apologies. The website was getting absolutely hammered. The ban hammer was coming down on the website. By all means, take this opportunity to go ahead and grab that membership. I believe we are expecting Bernie maybe within 15 minutes or something like that. That's what I'm being told by some of my contacts. Let me say thank you to Hostine Smith. Hostine Smith is new member number 35 today. Thanks, Hostine. I appreciate the support. Tomorrow on the show, there will be full detailed analysis of the just atrocities that we heard tonight. 7 Jade Stars, thank you for subscribing on Twitch. I appreciate that. You are subscriber 873 on Twitch, 873. Very, very much appreciate it. If you are heading out and not going to stay for the Bernie Sanders rebuttal, please make sure to give us a like on Facebook on your way out. Would love it also if you hit that subscribe button. Those things are free. They really do support the show, and they really do help us in the YouTube algorithm. So I very, very much appreciate those things. We will not be carrying the Bernie rebuttal. It's just been a lot lately, so we are going to be wrapping our coverage. I do want to say thanks to Patrick Standish, who is new member number 36 of the evening. But on that note, our coverage ends. We will have a full review of Trump's speech and the Bernie rebuttal on